Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I'm your host, the voice of reason. So, in this Ukraine-Russia update, a few new items have started to appear. First off, the Biden administration has placed new sanctions on the Russian Federation and has expelled some more diplomats from Washington. They've also, meaning the White House, has declared a national emergency in regards to the actions of the Russian Federation, whatever that should mean. Furthermore, it would appear that the Russian Federation is closing the Kerch Strait, which would prevent access to the Sea of Azov to any and all foreign military vessels. So that is very interesting news that is occurring and will officially occur with just in a few days. And this coincides with the ultimate buildup of when Russian forces would have the initial capacity to launch operations inside Ukraine. Furthermore, there are now mainstream media reports talking about the so-called invasion stripes. Now, I had mentioned this in previous videos. I had seen these these so-called invasion stripes. I believe I had seen them on certain Belarusian units located in the north, and obviously some Russian units in Russia proper that had been photographed. And again, this is simply a white stripe that runs along the front and on top of the turrets in some cases of Russian armored fighting vehicles and tanks. And these were seen in Hungary, they were seen in Czechoslovakia during the Cold War when the Soviet Union had entered these states to put down independence movements and certain rebellions that took place in those states. But again, it's not uncommon. It's something that the Russians do. I've even seen it on Ukrainian tanks as well in the past. So it's just something now that the media is picking up on, that one of their analysts had mentioned, and the media is kind of going with it to amp up the situation. I still don't believe that there is going to be an all-out invasion of the Ukraine. I would probably place the risks much like some of the Joint Chiefs of Staff are currently doing, that it is low to moderate a risk of a Russian large-scale operation inside of Ukraine. I do think there may be some operations that the Eastern separatists conduct as they continue to pick up operations. We've heard some equipment has been moved out of storage. A significant amount of equipment has been moved out into training areas and have been deployed closer to the actual border or the demarcation zone between Ukraine and the Eastern separatists. But again, we'll continue to keep an eye on what is occurring. You can't discount the size of the buildup that the Russians are undertaking. It is a significant buildup when, especially, you compare the current size of, say, the Russian ground forces, and when you're speaking of 110,000 soldiers, and I would assume that is soldiers from all branches of the Russian armed forces, but the Russian ground forces number about 280,000 men. So when you hear the mainstream media talk about Russia has an 800 to 900,000 man army, that they're talking about all branches of the Russian armed forces, but the actual ground forces of the Russian Federation are about 280,000. They then have another 45,000 in their airborne units. I'm not certain if they're counting the GRU Spetsnaz, which is another 15 to 20,000 troops within that 280,000, or that's separate as well. Obviously, the naval infantry, 15 to 20,000, is separate within the naval forces, and then something that is not often talked about is the Russian National Guard, which was the former interior troops, and that number is about 180,000, and they could also be used for operations inside of Ukraine, especially for pacification of urban areas and occupying areas after main army groups roll through. And I would suspect to see that. I would suspect to see large movements of the Russian National Guard as well being deployed near the borders of the Ukraine. But again, we will keep an eye on what's happening, and have a great day, everybody.